Hey everyone, today I'll show you how to get every achievement in Silent Hill 2 Remake in only 2 full playthroughs. First off, there are no difficulty related achievements, so play on whatever challenge you want. And for puzzles, choose standard so your puzzles are the same as mine. And if at any point you get stuck, all puzzle solutions will be listed at the end of the video during our speedrun attempt. This way, you can watch the guide without spoilers while still having the solutions when they matter. And a few more things before we get started. We're going for a specific ending during our first playthrough, so at no point should you examine Mary's letter, the photo of Mary, or, when we get it, Angela's knife. You will lock yourself out of the ending we're going for if you examine these items. With all that being said, we can head down the road we came in on for our first achievement. Also, a few achievements to keep in mind while playing are finishing off 50 enemies with stomp attacks, breaking 50 windows, and defeating 75 enemies with firearms. New Game Plus is our speedrun melee only run, so 75 ranged weapon kills is a must during playthrough 1. Next up, I took 2 minutes to farm out the locked door achievement. You don't need to farm this here, you will get this just by playing. Down the road after that locked door is the first glimpse. Next up is the story-related achievement for collecting the map. After collecting the map, directly in front of you is a flower shop with the first memo. Down Lindsay Street to the right is a gate with the second glimpse. After collecting the radio, make sure to turn it off so we can complete the game without using the radio. If the radio is on, it alerts you to nearby enemies, which is kind of pointless because your character takes out his weapon when enemies are nearby, so this should be very easy. After defeating your first enemy, leave the house, walk out to the street, and to your right is another glimpse. And down the road from the glimpse we just found are the next 2 collectibles. One is next to the dead body, and the other is just past it. The next memo is at Big J's, directly in front of you as soon as you enter. Memo 5 can be found at Groovy Music on the counter to your left after entering. Outside Woodside Apartments is Memo 6. To the left is the first photograph. And in the dumpster to the right is glimpse number 4. Continuing down the street, there's a memo on the double yellow lines. And just behind it is another glimpse. As soon as you enter Neely's bar, there's a memo to your left on the counter. Opposite of Happy Burger, you can break the viewing window for another photo. Down Sanders Street, there's 2 more memos next to the semi-truck. At the corner of Saul and Harris Street are the next 5 memos. 2 can be found on the road. 1 is on the sidewalk. Another in front of the camper. And the final one inside the camper. The next 2 memos are inside Saul Street Apartments. First, push the bookshelf out of the way, and in the following room is the first memo. Next, head up the stairs, and to the right is a vent. Crawl through it, and inside this room is the second memo. And this is where I got the achievement for breaking 50 windows. If you haven't gotten it already, you will eventually. After completing the jukebox puzzle, you can head to the back room, push the cart, and jump through the opening. Inside the following room is your next memo. And next up is a story-related achievement for making it to the Woodside Apartments. To your left, underneath the staircase, is the first Woodside Apartments memo. After obtaining the flashlight, room 102 becomes accessible and contains the next photo. Next up, there's a glimpse in the bedroom of room 213. And on the windowsill of room 210 is the next photograph. After obtaining the handgun, go to room 207 and shoot all of the balloons for an achievement. On the third floor in room 310, in the desk, is a memo. Next to it, in room 312, is the final Woodside Apartment collectible. Next up, you'll get a story-related achievement for making it to the other world. Now, you won't get any collectibles for a short while until you drop down a hole into room 110. Here we have a story-related item, Angela's knife. Do not examine this in your inventory. Again, we're going for a specific ending, and this could mess it up. Inside the stairwell, to the right of the stairs, is the next photograph. In the save room, after obtaining the clock secondhand, a room will open with the next photo. After completing the clock puzzle, at the top of the stairs is a glimpse. Next is a story-related achievement for defeating a gimmick boss. So pause the video if you don't want any spoilers on how to beat him. So all you have to do is run around the arena for exactly 3 minutes. Do not waste any resources on this guy. And next up is another story-related achievement. After Maria opens the gate to Rosewater Park, take a right, follow the path, and to your right is a photo.
This place we're going to, what is it exactly?
It used to be kind of a special place for young couples in these.
Because we're going for the Maria ending first, walk around the park and find the bench and a statue. Interact with both of these to get a little bit of dialogue with Maria.
Who is that?
Also, when Maria is with you, make sure she doesn't get hit too often. During my run, she got hit 1 time and I was still able to get all of the endings. Next, we'll get a glimpse and an achievement at the bowling alley. This is actually a nod to the original game where Eddie is here eating the pizza. Just south of the bowling alley is another glimpse.
What is it?
All the way at the end of the road is a memo to collect. And on the way back, we want to interact with the Silent Hill Historical Society door to get a little bit of extra dialogue with Maria.
Locked.
Also, make sure you collect the lever so you can open the garage door for a photograph. On a wall to your right, inside the motel office, is another memo. Next, head up the stairs to room 108, break the window and the destructible wall to find another memo. We'll also get a little bit more dialogue with Maria for doing this. You want to enter room 106 as well for even more dialogue.
Cozy.
For Maria's final bit of dialogue, interact with the table on the porch outside the mansion, and then turn around and speak to Maria.
Is everything all right?
This is where I got the achievement for 75 melee kills. After making it indoors, there's a photo to your left inside the changing room. After the cutscene with Maria, take a right, and another right. Follow this path, hugging the left wall, and to your left is the next collectible. Inside the movie theater, after the cutscene with Eddie, go behind him, and there's a collectible to your left. Next up is a story-related achievement for making it to the hospital. Inside the reception room is the first collectible for the hospital. Inside the small room connecting to exam room 3 is the next memo. After making it to floor 2, there's a memo on the nurse's station window, and on the other side, in the observation room, there's a photo. And after entering the laundry room, to your left is a glimpse. Inside room C1, you can examine the poster for another memo. And then we can head to the director's office for the next 3 memos.
Discipline, trial and error, as far as one needs to. I will cure them.
Examine the bed inside room M1 for another glimpse. Inside the women's locker room is the shotgun. Make sure to pick it up and get a kill with it to progress another achievement. Next, enter the hole in the utility room to drop down to the first floor. And inside the medical records room is a memo. And behind that is a glimpse. Also, in the medical records room is the first marked bracelet. After collecting this, go to the second floor, room C5, and speak to Maria to get a little bit of dialogue.
Just need a bit more rest.
In the X-ray room on the 3rd floor is the next memo. The examination room on the 1st floor is now unlocked, so head there to collect a photo. Inside the doctor's lounge is the nurse's station keypad code memo. After entering the treatment room, there's a memo to your right on the bench. The next memo is after completing the bookshelf and safe puzzles. I put the bookshelf code on screen so you don't have to write it down after completing it. After obtaining the rooftop key, go back and try to speak to Maria for one more cutscene. After making it to the rooftop, follow this path to collect the glimpse. Do not collect the memo before the glimpse because the rooftop becomes inaccessible after picking up the memo. Now you can pick up the memo inside the small room on the rooftop. Inside room I3 is the final collectible for the hospital section. And next is a story-related achievement. After making it to the other world, the first collectible of this section is inside the day room. After making it to the 2nd floor, head to room M5 and examine the wall for a glimpse. Enter room M2 by breaking a destructible wall for another collectible. There's a memo inside the observation room, and in room C5 connected to it is a photo. This is also where I got the achievement for 75 ranged kills, so make sure you're working towards that because our New Games Plus run is melee only. Back to the X-ray room on the 3rd floor is another memo. Next up are 2 memos. One is inside the director's office, and the second is up the ladder and in the following room. After powering up the generator, there's a memo on the floor in the restroom. And for the last 3 collectibles in this area, the first is in the top left corner of the pool. The second is in the locker room past the doctor's lounge. And the final is after putting both rings on the statue inside the stairwell. And with the other world completed, we get a story-related achievement. And this is where I got my 50th stomp finisher, so make sure you're still working towards that if you haven't gotten it already. After making it to the east side, the first collectible is in the room with the save station. After that, we can return to Neely's bar again for another collectible on the counter. The next collectible is story related and cannot be missed. At this dead end, there's a photo on the driver's seat. Now head back to room 106 and examine the wall for an achievement. The final collectible for this area is past the save room at the Historical Society inside one of the cabinets. The next achievement we get is story related. After dropping down the pit and making it to the canteen, there's a glimpse on one of the tables to your right. Next, there's a memo next to the gun safe in the armory. In prison cell A3, there's another glimpse. After opening the serpent door, there's a memo in cell E4. And after opening all cells, there's a photo in E13. And before leaving this area, make sure you pick up the armory key, and then head back to the armory to collect the rifle. With the rifle, we can get the achievement for getting a kill with every weapon. After opening the aux door, walk up the stairs, and straight ahead to your left is a memo. The next memo is in cell D5, along with the shiv you need to unlock cell C4. And behind cell C4 is another memo. The next memo is in the changing room on one of the benches, and past that in the showers is a glimpse. In the bore section of the prison, there's a photograph in the warehouse, a memo in booth 7 of the prisoner visiting room, a glimpse just southwest of the break room, and a final memo in the room just past the infirmary. There's also a memo inside cell F6 where you get one of the weights. After completing the prison area, the next achievement is story related. In the labyrinth area, there's a glimpse down the left path behind a destructible wall. In the second labyrinth area, we want to go up the ladder to the right side of this circular area. Once at the top, squeeze through the wall and the photo is to your left. The next achievement is story related and cannot be missed. After the previous section, rotate the cube up or down twice. Inside, to the left of the stairs, is a photo. The next achievement is story related, so pause the video here to avoid spoilers. After defeating the boss, and before getting on the boat, make sure you pick up this photo. For your next achievement, while on the boat, sit on the lake for 10 minutes. The next achievement unlocks automatically after making it to the hotel. After getting the achievement, to your right is a rotten apple. Make sure to not use this. From the rotten apple, turn around, walk forward, and to your left is a glimpse in the fountain. After entering the hotel, go down the stairs, and inside the utility room is a memo. Go back up the stairs, and there's a memo on the check-in counter. There's another memo in the lost and found room. And the next memo is story related and cannot be missed. The right side of floor 1 is now open, so head to room 104 for a photograph. On floor 2, behind the bookshelf puzzle, are the next 3 memos. Inside the hall on floor 2, we can get the key to room 202. Also, while in the hall, pick up the ripe apple. Now head to room 202 and make sure you put the ripe apple on the plate. We need it for the ending we're going for. Also, after completing this mirror puzzle, a key item spawns in room 201 right next to this one. It took me a long time to realize that. After making it to the left side of floor 2, there's a glimpse inside room 212. There's a memo and key inside the conference room above the fireplace. With the key, you can access room 107 for a memo. In the employees section, there's a glimpse in the pantry, an achievement in the kitchen for examining bread, and a note in the manager's office for completing the puzzle. And there's a photo to your right after making it to the Venus Tears bar. And because you don't have your equipment or maps, I'll show you how to get them back. Go back to the main lobby, go up the stairs to your left, take a left, and a right. The next achievement is awarded automatically after making it to room 312. While still on floor 3, there's a photo in the bathroom of room 302. And on floor 2, inside the reading room on the couch, is the final glimpse. And the final memo is on floor 1 inside the manager's office. This is the final save station of the game, so we'll go ahead and make a manual save. Also, the next achievement is story related, so pause the video until you get it. Each pyramid head will drop an item. One is the scarlet egg, the other is the rust-colored egg. Now, it doesn't matter which door you put the eggs in, but you want to go through the door you put the scarlet egg in. We need to do this for the ending we're going for. And the final thing we have to do for this ending is sprint through this long hallway. We have to make it through this before Mary finishes her speech.
Flowers.
So here you can see how her audio gets cut off. And after passing through the door, to your right is the final photo. So if you did everything as I mentioned, Mary should be sitting on the bed. This will give you the Maria ending. And now you can pause the video until you beat the game. So now we get the achievement for defeating Mary, and we get the achievements for getting the Maria ending, and for completing the game without using the radio. And now we'll quickly get the in-water ending, so load up the save you made before the final boss, inspect Angela's knife one time, go through the door you put the rust-colored egg into, and then listen to Mary's entire conversation in the long hallway. After the subtitle "Help Me" disappears, you're good to go. Mary should be standing at the window, and all you have to do now is beat the game for the in-water ending.
James.
And now you can load up your save one final time, and we'll go for the leave ending. All you have to do is inspect Mary's letter and the photo of Mary one time each, then go through the door you put the scarlet egg into, listen to Mary's full conversation again in the long hallway. Mary should be standing at the window again, so all you have to do is beat the game for the leave ending. And with the 3 endings completed, we can start our New Game Plus run. I'm going to play on light, you can play on any difficulty you want. Make sure your puzzles are on standard so they're the same as mine. Again, on this playthrough, I will include all puzzle solutions, so let's get started. And this is going to be our melee-only, sub-10-hour playthrough, so keep that in mind. So there's 5 more endings, but only 2 of them award achievements. I'm going to take the extra 2-3 minutes to include all of the endings for you. With all that out of the way, after the first cutscene with Angela, head straight and slightly to the right for the first item we need for an ending. Along the main path, you'll hear the chainsaw. Make sure to pick it up for an achievement, and it's going to be the melee weapon we'll be using this run. The next item we need for an ending is just past this gate inside this green car. Use the chainsaw to break the window, and we'll get this key. The next item we need is in the back room of the pet shop next to Big J's. And directly north of the pet shop is a viewing window we can break for the next item. Unless there's something we need to do for an ending, I'm going to put the steps you need to take to complete each area on screen, so you can pause the video while completing each area. Next, take the blue gem to the rooftop of Saul Street Apartments and use it in front of this symbol.
Come on.
And after the first cutscene with Maria, you can use the blue gem to progress the UFO ending. After making it to the bowling alley, use code 1887 on the safe behind the counter for an item needed to get the bliss ending. Use code 0451 to unlock the safe inside Jack's Inn. Collect the item on the table outside the mansion to progress the rebirth ending. Also nearby is the second and final item required for the dog ending. After collecting it, go ahead and combine it with the piece we picked up earlier. Next, you want to check the gazebo inside the garden for another item required for an ending. Combine this small chest with the rusted key we picked up earlier to get the item. And just past the save to your left inside the Silent Hill Historical Society is an item needed for the rebirth ending. This code is completely random, so I'll put possible solutions on screen. And a quick note, if you've been using the chainsaw the entire playthrough, switch to the iron pipe so you can defeat these enemies. And a small life hack, for the Eddie fight, you can turn on high contrast mode so you can see him coming from a mile away. After crossing the lake, use the blue gem again to progress the UFO ending. So after making it to the hotel, inside the Lost and Found room is the last item you need to complete the Rebirth ending. However, if you pick this up, it will override any other base ending you can obtain, and it will also override the New Game Plus Stillness ending. So I would recommend to not pick it up yet, and I will remind you later. Alright, and with everything completed, it's time to get some endings. Also, make a backup save here so that we can get our endings, and then we'll load this to get the Rebirth ending. So just before room 312 is another locked door. Go ahead and use the dog key on it to get the dog ending.
Fuck that shit.
Nie. To nie macie być prawda.
And with that, we get an achievement for completing the game in under 10 hours, for completing the game on New Game Plus, for getting the dog ending, and for completing the game using only melee weapons. And we're just getting started, so let's load our previous save so that we can get the rest of the endings. Next up, we'll go to room 312 and use the blue gem to get the UFO ending. Load your save, return to room 312, drink the White Claudia, insert the videotape, and get the Bliss ending. Next up, progress normally until you make it to the employee section. Inside the manager's office is a safe. Use the Key of Sorrow, and then input the code 314. Inside, you'll get a postcard, examine it, and complete the game normally by defeating Mary for the Stillness ending. And with that, we can load our save one more time, collect the last item we need for the Rebirth ending, and beat the game for our final 2 achievements. And with that, we were able to get every achievement in Silent Hill 2 Remake in just 2 full playthroughs. Take care, everyone.